Jerome Williams wasn't born with wealth or privilege. He was raised in a modest neighborhood, the kind where streetlights flickered and corner stores stayed open late, catering to people who worked double shifts. His mother, a single parent, was one of those people. She worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices by day and cooking in a small diner at night. From a young age, Jerome saw the toll this took on her, and he promised himself that he would one day build a better life, not just for himself but for his mother and the people who struggled alongside them. Jerome's first encounter with cutting hair came when he was about 14. He couldn't afford to go to a barber regularly, so he took up a pair of old clippers and experimented on his own hair. It didn't go well the first time, but he was persistent, and soon enough his friends started asking him for haircuts. What began as a way to save money turned into something more. It became an art form to him. He took pride in every precise line, every smooth fade, and every sharp edge. His friends weren't just customers, they were canvases. By the time he was 19, Jerome had a small clientele of neighbors and friends who relied on him for their weekly cuts. He would set up shop on the back porch of his mother's small house, and the porch quickly became a local hangout spot. People came for more than just the haircut. Jerome had an innate ability to connect with people, to make them feel heard. He would offer advice, listen to their stories, and share his own hopes and dreams. He knew he wasn't going to stay on that porch forever. Jerome saved every dollar he earned from cutting hair. He worked part-time jobs during the day, but he always kept his clippers close. At night he would dream of opening his own barbershop, a place where people could not only get their hair cut but also feel a sense of belonging. After years of saving and planning, that dream became a reality when he was 25. He opened his first barbershop, Williams Signature Cuts, in a modest part of the city. It wasn't glamorous, but it was his, and it was the start of something bigger. The shop was small, just 2 chairs and a single mirror, but the atmosphere Jerome created made it special. It wasn't long before the community started to notice. People from all walks of life came through the door, not just for haircuts but for conversation, advice, and, at times, a sense of escape. Jerome's shop became a hub, a place where people could forget their problems for a while and walk out feeling like a better version of themselves. Word spread quickly, and soon Jerome had enough business to expand. By the time he was 30, Jerome had opened 2 more locations in the city. Each new barbershop was a reflection of his hard work and vision, and they all carried the same atmosphere of warmth and community. But Jerome wasn't just about cutting hair anymore. He had developed a keen sense of business, and he began investing in real estate. He bought small properties, ones that no one else saw potential in, and renovated them. Over time he built a solid portfolio of rental properties and commercial spaces. By the time Jerome hit 35, he wasn't just known as a barber. He had become a well-respected businessman, and his empire was growing. His barbershops were thriving and his real estate ventures were paying off. He even started a consulting firm, helping other aspiring entrepreneurs start their own businesses. Jerome had created a legacy, one built on hard work, perseverance, and a deep love for his community. But as his success grew, so did his loneliness. Jerome had never been one to focus on relationships. His work consumed him, and while he had many friends, he hadn't found someone to share his life with. That's when Vanessa Thomas entered his world. She was an event planner who had worked her way up from humble beginnings just like Jerome. She was beautiful, charismatic, and at first glance, seemed to share Jerome's drive and ambition. Vanessa came into Jerome's life when he was at the height of his success. She met him at a charity event, and their connection was instant. She made him laugh, she listened to him, and she seemed to understand the weight of responsibility that came with success. To Jerome, Vanessa was a breath of fresh air in a life filled with business deals and long hours. It wasn't long before they were dating, and within a year they were married. But what Jerome didn't know was that Vanessa had her own plans. Beneath her charm and beauty lay a calculated mind. Vanessa was drowning in debt from failed business ventures, and when she met Jerome she saw more than just a man, she saw an opportunity. She saw a way out of her financial troubles, and more than that, she saw a way to secure a future of luxury and ease. The first few years of their marriage were blissful, at least for Jerome. He trusted Vanessa completely, and she played the part of the supportive wife perfectly. She helped organize his business events, networked with clients, and even began to involve herself in his real estate ventures. But as time went on, Vanessa grew more impatient. She wanted it all, and she didn't want to wait for Jerome to hand it over. Jerome had a 10-year-old daughter from a previous relationship, Kayla. She was the light of his life, the one person he loved more than anything. He often talked about passing his businesses down to her when she was older, teaching her the ropes and ensuring she could carry on his legacy. Vanessa, however, had no interest in sharing Jerome's empire with Kayla. In her mind, Jerome's wealth should be hers and hers alone. That's when Vanessa made her decision. Over the course of several months, she carefully plotted to get rid of Jerome. She began slowly poisoning him, using small doses so as not to arouse suspicion. Jerome, always busy with his work, attributed his growing fatigue and bouts of illness to stress. He didn't think for a second that the woman he loved could be behind it. But as the months went by, Jerome's condition worsened. Doctors couldn't pinpoint the cause, and Vanessa played the concerned wife, always by his side, masking her true intentions with tears and worry. One evening, after a long day at the office, Jerome collapsed in their home. By the time the ambulance arrived, it was too late. Jerome Williams, the self-made businessman who had built an empire from nothing, was dead. In the weeks following Jerome's death, Vanessa wasted no time. She immediately took control of his assets, planning to sell off the businesses and properties for a quick profit. But what Vanessa didn't count on was Kayla. Though only 10 years old, Kayla was smart, observant, and deeply suspicious of her stepmother. Jerome's will left everything to his daughter, with his longtime friend and business partner, Marcus, named as her legal guardian until she came of age. Marcus, a sharp and loyal friend, also found Vanessa's behavior odd. He began digging into Jerome's death, working with a private investigator to look into the circumstances surrounding it. What they uncovered was shocking. Evidence of Vanessa's gradual poisoning of Jerome, a paper trail of her financial troubles, and plans she had made to sell off his empire. When confronted with the evidence, Vanessa denied everything at first, but eventually the truth came out. She was arrested, tried, and convicted of murder. The trial was widely publicized, with the public outrage that such a trusted figure had betrayed a man who had given so much to the community. Vanessa was sentenced to life in prison, but the damage she had done couldn't be undone. Kayla, now an orphan, was left with the responsibility of her father's empire. Though young, she was determined to honor Jerome's memory. Under Marcus's guidance, Kayla learned the ins and outs of the businesses her father had built. She swore to continue his work not for the money or the fame but for the people, just like her father had. As the years passed, Kayla grew into a capable young woman. By the time she turned 18, she had fully taken over her father's empire, expanding it even further. She opened new barbershops, invested in affordable housing for the community, and started a foundation in her father's name to support young entrepreneurs from disadvantaged backgrounds. Jerome's legacy lived on through Kayla. Not just in the businesses he had built, but in the spirit of generosity and hard work he had instilled in her. In the end, it wasn't the wealth or the success that defined Jerome Williams. It was the impact he had on the lives of those around him, an impact that his daughter carried forward with pride. So remember this, sometimes the person who seems too good to be true really is. And sometimes, justice does come full circle even if it takes a little help to get there. Thanks for watching. Please give us a like, subscribe and comment.